I've been really fascinated with this over the last couple of years. As you all know, probably, I have been doing human design transit reports for coming up on 4 years now. That's every 5 days for 4 years. It's a lot of transit reports. And one of the things that I've seen is what's happening with the outer planets. So when the outer planets are in a gate, they generally stay there for a long time. And they generally will move into a gate and then retrograde back and then move again and then retrograde back and then move forward and retrograde back. That's the kind of cycle they have. So you can see here with Uranus, Uranus entered the gate 24 in May of 2020. And the gate 24 is the beginning of the sensing circuit. It's the beginning of right brain energy. It's right over here. And it receives downloads from superconsciousness. The gate number 2 is the gate of allowing. It's on the G center. It's at the bottom of the G center. It's the location of the magnetic monopole, which is basically your attractive force. The force that you have to bring things into your life is located in that magnetic monopole. And when we work with the human design version of the law of attraction, which we do like in the Sovereign Sisterhood and in the programs that I offer, we're activating and helping to expand and grow our relationship with that gate 2. Because that gate 2, like I said, it's the source of our Taurus field in the human design system, right? Which is this magnetic field that is attractive. And that, the Institute of Heart Math has done a lot of research with the Taurus field of the heart. And the magnetic force of the heart is 500 times stronger than the magnetic force of the brain. It's much, much stronger. So the gate 2 is really important and really vital to our well-being. The gate 23 in the knowing circuit, and the gate 2 is in the knowing circuit. The gate 23 and the gate 8 are all in the knowing circuit. The gate 23 is receiving the insights coming in through the gate 43. It's right here on the throat. So it's receiving those insights coming from super consciousness that are not, and giving voice to them, helping to give words and language to the downloads that we have. And then the gate 8, which is where Uranus currently is the gate of contribution and fulfillment. And the sun is actually there as well. So these are all gates that are either in the sensing circuit. Like I said, the 24 is in the sensing circuit. All the other ones are in the knowing circuit. Now, these are not logical. They're not rational. They're not reasonable. They're not analytical. They're not strategic. None of this is left-brained energy. So Uranus, who's the god of awakening, right? And who brings about sudden change. And Uranus rules Aquarius, and we just moved into Aquarius. So Uranus is even more important for us now that Pluto has moved into Aquarius, and Aquarius is now going to be highlighted. And there's a lot of Uranian energy. Now, Uranus is in Taurus right now, but we are having a lot of Uranian energy. And so this is where some of this disruption that you're feeling is coming from. And what Uranus is saying, if you look at the gates that Uranus has been lighting up for us, it's like, don't think about this logically. Don't try to figure it out with your head, right? Tune in, receive insights from this, right? See what you can receive from super consciousness, right? That's what this message is. And of course, there's specific ones here, but let's go with the big essence and the big themes. And I just want to say here, to those of you who are maybe newer to human design, do not allow yourself to get tripped up by going, I don't even know what those gates are, where they are, and I can't understand anything she's saying because I don't know what they are. That's not true. Okay, don't do that to yourself. You don't need to know the specifics of this to be able to get the themes that I'm talking about. That's your left brain wanting to maintain control. And right now, I'm asking you to step into a different part of yourself. Okay. Okay, so Neptune, big planet. Neptune has been moved into the gate 22 in January of 2020, and then moved into the gate 36 in May of 2021. And it's going to be there until the early part of next year. So Neptune, farther out, right, stays longer in a gate. And so the gate 22 is in the knowing circuit. The gate 22, it's on the emotional solar plexus, and it's been named surrender in quantum human design. This is about how we surrender to the guidance that's coming to us through superconsciousness, through the knowing circuit. The gate 36 is in the sensing circuit. We're getting a theme here, right? Where the outer planets are lighting up gates in the knowing circuit and in the sensing circuit. And the gate 36, known as chaos in traditional human design, is adventure in quantum human design. And so Neptune is asking us, right? And again, Neptune, went into the 22 and retrograded back, and went into the 36 and retrograded back. This is what they do, right? So it wasn't that when it changed, it was always there the whole time. But I'm not trying to, I don't want to give you too much data, because I don't want you to focus on that. What I want you to focus on is the qualities of these energies, and to notice that these, great generational gods, if you will, that the outer planets are considered, have all been pointing us to our creativity and our intuition. Because the sensing circuit, and we'll talk more about that in a second, is highly creative. It's intuitive, it's creative, it's embodied, it's experiential. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But the 36, like I said, is more about adventure. It's about how do we engage? How do we get into things? And how can we do that with joie de vivre? How can we do it with enthusiasm? And it's, you can fall into this sense. And this could definitely be happening for some of us right now, because we are in this really late stage of where we've been, which is this sense that there's a little jadedness potentially, right? A little jadedness around our experience. It's kind of like, we kind of already did that. We've already been there. It's like, nothing is really calling to me anymore. So if you've been feeling that, that's a bit of the disempowered of the 36 that Neptune is lighting up. And you get to have a different experience if you choose to step more into curiosity. Okay. And just surrendering to what is coming to you from superconsciousness. And then our dear friend Pluto, who's been in the gate 60, on and off the 60 and the 61 since March of 2021. Originally moved into the gate 61 in January 2019. Now, the gate 61 is right here. It's the beginning of the knowing circuit, and it is plugged directly into superconsciousness. Okay. So Pluto started telling us way back in January of 2019, are you paying attention to the guidance that is coming to you through superconsciousness? Are you paying attention or not? Please make sure you're muted, everybody. And then moved into the gate 60 in March of 2021, but it's gone forward and back and forward and back, but it's really been in the 60 for quite a while. And I've done mentioned this in different transit reports. And the gate 60 is also in the knowing circuit, but it's all the way down at the bottom of the root. So basically we've had the top and the bottom. Right? Pluto was like, okay, are you receiving? And then the root is going to bring that energy back up through the central channel, through the knowing circuit. So now Pluto is like, okay, what are you going to carry forward with you into the new age? You've done all this exploring through the knowing circuit. What are you going to carry with you? What are you going to keep, and what are you going to let go of? So we've been experiencing that a lot, right? And then finally, Pluto's going to move into the gate 41 in January 30th of 2025. And I will be talking more about that as we go forward into December and into January, because there's some more really big stuff going on. But what I want to highlight here is, again, the 61 and the 60 are in the knowing circuit, and the 41's in the sensing circuit. So we've got a theme here, right? There has not been any logic or rationality or strategy or analytical thinking being highlighted by the outer planets for 4 years. Just take that in for a minute, right? The outer planets have been directing our attention to our creativity, our embodiedness, our experiential nature, sensing circuit, right? Our storytelling, how we know who we are by the stories that we tell. And then the knowing circuit, mutative energy, individual circuitry, highly changeable, here to be different, here to bring change, right? Doesn't fit in. That's what has been highlighted mostly by the outer planets. And I've talked about this a lot in transit reports, saying that the more that we can tap into these other faculties that we have, the more we're going to be able to receive the guidance that we need to be able to create ourselves and our world the way that we want to. It's not going to come to us through logic and strategy. And I don't think it's going to come to us through Western science either. I think that we can receive downloads, right? And inspirations and insights and new possibilities. And then we can develop science to help work with that, the same way that Einstein received his theory of relativity in a dream. He received it in a dream and he woke up and he knew it, right? Knowing circuit. He just knew it. And then he said, now I have to develop the math to prove that it's true, right? But he didn't develop it by doing math. He developed the math to prove that it was true. He received it. He received it as knowing.